Hi, so we're going to review the ADT ticker today. Um, so, so today is August 5th. So this is the open today at 6:30 Pacific timing. And as you can see, these gray dots are like my yesterday's low, and then blue dotted lines are my 2 days low. Okay, so those are my typical key levels that I have already defaulted in my screen in my charts every day. So okay, so what happens today? The open comes with some supply. It holds the yesterday's low holds, and then as you can see, it typically holds. This is not a good place to buy yet, because it's not very clear, like what's going to be happen, especially with such a long supply in the opening bar itself, opening 5 minute bar. So this is a 5 minute chart. You can see this is a 5 minute chart, and as it starts going up, okay, so there is this monthly resistance. Okay, so why I said monthly resistance, if I go to my monthly chart, so this is my monthly chart. Okay, as you can see, and so from February 2019 it has when it has started trading, and see, that's why this is like for 2 months it could not break it, and that's why I put it as monthly. I have another one at monthly at 970, and then another one at 693. So these are the key levels. Like, as soon as it gets dropped, these are very strong key levels. It would typically hold, or it would an enormous volume to break these things. Anyways, so going back to our 5 minute chart. So it broke the resistance, the monthly resistance. As you can see, the volume was also significant to break it. And what happens next? And then immediately there is some supply. Okay. See, typically what happens is, right after you break a resistance, either you look for a weak pullbacks, like a small narrow bars coming here and then holding at this level. That is when you can take a long, or it could come back and then close below the resistance, below this resistance. Sorry, mainly now it's support, but once it broke, it becomes resistance, right? So once it breaks, like without any follow through, the purpose of breaking this bar are, to have a follow through, right? But if it does not have any follow through, and then it comes back to the below the resistance again, then that is a strong bearish nature compared to a bearish nature where it's tried to hold in, because it went above the resistance, couldn't find any buyers, and that's why it closed back in. Okay, so just because it closed back, it does not mean you have a tradable thing. Sometimes price action can go up and down, so you got to be very careful, see what's happening. So you see that, okay, there's a good buying, and then there's no follow through. It closes back below the monthly chart, and then yesterday also same thing has happened. It broke the monthly, and then it tried to hold after coming back again, but couldn't hold, and then broken down, right? So again, so today it comes back inside this one. So what happens again? The next bar tries to go back and go back above the resistance, couldn't do it, closes in the middle, meaning that buyers now are not interested any longer. Okay, see this one. So it just means that buyers are not interested, does not mean that there are sellers here, right? Because of the volume. Because if the volume had been like more, like higher volume, like one of these bars, then we could have said that, okay, sellers came up and then sold it. But since the volume is low, meaning that buyers are no longer interested to buy this one after all these things. Okay, and you can see that next couple of bars slowly gradually comes down. Nothing, it's just that slow, slowly selling, grinding, selling is there, nothing is happening. And this is where typically, if buyers have proved themselves, because in these bars buyers have proved themselves, right? But if had, let's say that if one of the, instead of this bar, if the bar had been like this, coming up and then closing like this, that is a bullish in nature. It is a very strong bullish, especially if it has good volume. It is strong bullish in nature, especially because the left hand side you have a lot of demand, right? So when you come back to the same area again, buyers are proving it. But here, what happens? So selling is weak. Selling is there. Their buying is weak, and if it starts going back to break again, look at the volume on this bar. It has increased significantly compared to these previous bars, almost double up. What happened? So this is what I call as sellers are proving themselves now. So with the background selling, buying weak, and now sellers proving themselves in this bar. See this one, it went above this one, and then buyers came up and then strongly pushed back, closing in the middle, right? So that means this is a place to buy because it broke this one, it couldn't break again proving itself with a selling background, and you're at closer to the resistance. So this is where you can short this bar you can short it. And of course, what is your target? Your first target will be the yesterday's low, right? As you can see, there's none of these bars are threatening. It still holds. There's one up bar, but still the volume is not that big, and then drops here. Okay, and see, exit out of this trade. Like, do not hold on, like hoping that it will break and then go further down. This is because you don't know what's going to happen at support. Suddenly support buyers can come up, and so it's always important to take your profits at the target. Like this happened, right? Again, so as you can see, even after that, like the sellers are proving themselves again. After support, it tried to go up again. Sellers came and slammed it down, right? Look at the volume. So the volume tells you the story whether the sellers are present or selling is weak. Like here, right? There is now buying. Actually, I wouldn't say this sellers are strong here. Okay, sellers are strong in this bar, not in these bars. But once it proves itself, like against the selling background, right? Then that is when you can be confidently saying that, okay, the background should be the context. And the context is your background, where you are selling, where you're shorting it. Okay. All right, and then this comes up, and then it tries to hold this one. As you know, again, sellers are proving themselves without any poor buying, and then you can see that it broke. It's not a surprise that it broke, and then another one. See, it comes back here, so as you see it, and then it consolidates here, right, below the resistance, below the resistance line, going nowhere, right? Almost for what, 1 hour, from 9:30 to almost 10:40, 10:30, like almost for 1 hour it went sideways, meaning that sellers are also tired. Sellers are no longer interested to sell, so buyers are just holding there. And suddenly this happens, right? This bar happens, a big down bar, and see what happens immediately after this ones. These are typically a shakeout bars, like people are expecting now, okay, it's going to go down, and then start shorting it. This is when slowly the buying volume happens. See that volume has increased a little bit comparatively in between, compared to previous bars. So the buying has emerged. So just because the buying has emerged does not mean that you buy on one of these bars. You break out for this bar, you see this got broken, and then as it comes, it's a weak pullback, right? So it's a weak pullback because it is holding, meaning sellers are not much present. And then a good amount of demand came. See the good bars, good up bars, and broke the resistance, and then a weak pullback. So look at the two bars volume. Look at these two bars volume compared to these previous bars. Look at this volume. So you can take a long. In fact, here you can take a long here, and then hold it all along, or like, typically if it is coming too much, I would sell it out. But you can see this one, after a couple of bars it does not go anywhere. You can buy one of these bars. See, the volume has completely narrowed after breaking down. Selling has completely disappeared. So this is another place you can buy. As you can see, of course, your target is what? This is your target, right? The monthly one is your target. So you can go back there and then see that as it starts consolidating at this level, you can sell out. So this is another place to buy. So the crux of the story is always try to read the charts, basing upon the price action and then the volume. You will know when to take action, when to take shorts or longs. As you start doing this kind of analysis, you don't need any other indicators like moving averages or anything. Yeah, you can still trade through moving averages, but this is more analytical in nature, compared to an indicator based buying or shorting, right? So anyways, feel free to ask me more questions if you have anything. Thank you, guys.